Hey guys, what's up? So today I'm going to talk about books that have a little darker content. And by darker I mean stuff that happens that can affect your mental health and how the characters in this book struggle and get through it. I'm going to separate this video in two parts. The first part I'm going to talk about books that you read in recovery. Books that show you how you go through it and how things will get better. And I really recommend these reads to you if you're going through it because you have to understand that it will get better. And second part I'm going to talk about, I don't recommend anyone to read this while going through it because these are more like books that give perspective and show people what it's like to go through it. And they are not happy and uplifting, they are darker stories and they don't have really happy endings. I really don't like the endings on these books because I really believe that you will go through it and it's just a phase no matter how long it's been happening. Any situation you can go through it. Nothing good will come of making yourself upset. Okay, the first book I'm going to talk about, I don't have the physical copy here because I lended it to a friend, but it's kind of a funny story and I love this book so much. It talks about a teenage boy who's under a lot of pressure in school and he goes to advanced school and he is going through depression and he thinks about committing suicide and he doesn't really know why is that, and he has really deep anxiety. He throws up, it's really bad and he doesn't know why this is happening. He's taking his meds but it doesn't seem to get better. So there is a point when he calls the suicide hotline and they tell him to go to a hospital because thinking of suicide, it's a medical urgency. And when he gets there, he's directed to the mental health part of the hospital and talks about all of his experiences, and he spends a week there and he talks about the beginning of his recovery and how things will get better and how much a difference that treatment can do to you. If you have a problem, you have to talk to someone because it will just keep eating you inside out, and it doesn't matter what other people think. You have to get better because it's your life, not anyone else's. The second book I'm going to talk about is The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Steven Chbosky. This book talks about Charlie, a boy who's going through depression and a lot of traumatic events have happened in his life and he blacks out and he doesn't remember what happens when he blacks out. He just knows it's really bad and he's struggling with all of that and he doesn't have friends and he's going to high school and then he meets some friends and they become a huge part of his life and he finally feels like he's part of something that has something good in his life, but he apparently screws up everything and he just goes downhill after that. And he goes through the lowest points of his life in this part of the book, and his family find out about the traumatic events that made him this way. And the book is told by letters that Charlie is going to send to a friend that doesn't actually exist. It's like a little diary, but like he's waiting a response and he knows he won't be judged because his friend actually doesn't exist. But in the end of this book, you'll see that things, the last few pages, things will get better, and no matter how hard your situation is, there is always a way out. It's a really dark book, but in the ending you'll see that it has a hope of getting better, and I would recommend it to see that yes, it may be the lowest point of your life, but it's just a point of your life, not your whole life. The third book I'm going to talk about is Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell, and I really don't think this story is about a first love. For me it's like Eleanor. I love Park as well, but to me it was mostly about Eleanor. This book's about Eleanor, a girl who's really different and no one wants to talk to her when she goes to this new school and she has just moved in. But really, she's going through a lot of hard times because she lives in an abusive household. The man who her mother married is abusive, her dad doesn't care about her, and she really just waits in her room with her four little brothers and see if the screaming stops and all of the noises of listening to a loved one being beaten up, and it's mostly about domestic abuse. But Eleanor finds a good thing in her life, and that's Park, who is her first love, and he really loves her by who she is, and she doesn't want to tell him about her struggle, but it shows her journey of getting to a better place, a safe place. And you know, when you're a teenager, you feel like you can do nothing because you're underage, you don't have your own job, you can't work, and you feel like school is all you got, but maybe you're not that good in school, and you feel like you have no way out of this situation because you can't run away, you can't rely on yourself, you just have to hope it will go away. But this book shows that there is always a way out. There is someone out there who cares about you and will help you. You just have to find the right person. And I'm going to talk about some spoilers, so mute while I'm holding my hand up, please. I'm going to talk now. Most people don't like the ending of Eleanor and Park, but I really do because Eleanor is safe, and really that's what matters to me, because Eleanor is so strong and she had to go through so much, and she finally found something good about her life, that is Park. But Park can't be the only good thing about her life. She has to have a safe environment, and then she can find a new love, but she can't keep living this way because it's affecting her and it's screwing up with her, and no one should have to live like that. And it's one of my all-time favorites because the way Rainbow Rowell dealt with this situation is just amazing, because the most important thing about your life is you, not someone else. So that's really important to me. I really recommend this book because she's just a teenager and she feels like there is no way out, and she just hopes it will go away, but she actually finds a way out. And the character development in this book is huge. The next book I'm going to talk about is Wonder by R.J. Palacio, and it's a really uplifting read. You have to read it in some point of your life. It's amazing. It's about a boy who was born with a genetic illness and his face is deformed, and he has never got into school. And this book talks about the first time he goes to an actual school with classmates and how they deal with it, and it's told by a lot of point of views, which is amazing because it talks about the point of view of his family, his point of view, his friends' point of view, and it's really an uplifting read, and you should definitely read that because there's so much hope and so much faith in humanity after you read this book. I really love it.